Hey, Eric.
Hey, what's up, man?
Did you know that people who like this podcast can support us?
Yes.
You did?
No, I didn't. How can they do that?
Do you know where they have to go?
Internet.
Yes. Patreon.com/RetroAM. Find out more. Early access. All kinds of good stuff. Thanks. And now, would you like to hear some hot sounds that I have recorded?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast about Xenogears where we extrapolate the unextrapolatable elements of this video game until we tear a hole in the fabric of time. Hi, my name's Chris. Hey. Eric. Hey.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, good to see you again.
Yeah, good. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while. Roughly 24 hours. Yeah. We're some shit today in this podcast. We're on a new chapter today, and it's named after my favorite 90s album, Deep Sea Girl.
Deep Sea Girl, was that your favorite whole album?
Is that actually what it's called?
I have no idea.
Oh,
no,
yeah. It does sound like a whole album.
Yeah, it definitely would be.
I was thinking more of like it was a Deep Blue something album.
Veruca Salt. Have you heard LL Cool J's song Deepest Bluest off the Deep Blue Sea soundtrack?
No, I haven't.
It's really good. It talks about being eaten by a shark.
Oh, okay. Well, don't put that in the podcast.
We're not.
So we don't get a takedown.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Can't do that. Sorry. Look it up on your own.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah,
right.
Deep Sea Girl. We left off with a situation being situated right now, and what about the alternate titles for Deep Sea Girl?
Yeah, the Xenogears Study Guide provides the real translation, and I make two up to try and confuse our poor boy Chris here. So the actual title of the game is Deep Sea Girl. Chris, is it actually called June Mermaid, The Girl in the Coma, or Corellian's Game?
Ooh, I like Corellian's Game a whole lot. I don't think that it is June Mermaid because that's the name of a song in this game.
And it's
So I'm going to go with a girl in a coma since we're very literal around here.
It is the girl in the coma.
Oh, thank you, Ding Noise. Okay, great. I got it. Let's recap a little bit.
Yeah, what just happened?
Well, first of all, I want to talk about the implications of Citan being the party leader lately, because throughout this whole sequence, it was the first time that he was a mandatory inclusion within our 3-character party.
Yeah, he's the only one whose brain isn't broken yet.
Yes, exactly. Usually, we had a couple of Billy sequences. Faye's usually the party leader. This time it's Citan, and the implications of that are a little bit different because usually somebody is telling us where to go. Like if we're Faye, Citan, or whoever, or Bart, or we're in Bart's scenario or following Citan's orders. But with Citan, he told us to go to the Thames because, they had just been attacked by Wells. I was about to call them Vels. By Wells. Velstals, yes. It was just attacked by Wells, and part of what happened there is that Bart especially expressed a level of concern for the Thames, but Citan did not care about their fate. He just needed to know where Corellian went.
Everyone's a tool for his desires.
Yes. Why does he need to know where Corellian went?
Well, we know Corellian has a contact with Cain. We know Citan has a contact with Cain, right?
Exactly. So shouldn't Citan already know where Corellian is? Are they on the same side, the Solaris side? Or are Corellian and Cain opposing forces?
Or they could be rogue factions within Solaris, right?
Yeah, so
like if someone's losing control of power and he's two people, or one's manipulating Cain, the other doesn't know that Cain's manipulating the other guy. Like it's a cycle of manipulation. We have to determine the true source.
Yeah, and I think that this is the first maybe hint that there are two opposing factions within Solaris. We've already kind of heard about the ministry dudes talking about how they're not thrilled with Corellian, and occasionally not thrilled with Cain. And so I think there's a little bit of infighting going on here. And I assume that Citan is part of Cain's scenario since we've seen him talk to him one-on-one.
Nobody else has been in the JPEG room.
Exactly. So some additional recapping and contextualization about where we're at. We left off when the MacGuffin that is driving a lot of the things that have happened in this game has finally been revealed in the form of
the girl in the coma?
Yes, the girl in the coma, the Deep Sea Girl, you might say.
The nanomachine colony?
Yes, indeed. The purpose of said MacGuffin sure seems important, but I don't know if that they need that nanomachine colony at this point to revive God, to kill God, to ascend humans, or are we the ones that are killing God? Are they killing God?
Well,
I don't
you and
know.
I are going to kill God.
We are going to kill God.
Yeah.
Grahf specifically told us, yes, we will kill God. But is he talking to us as the as the progenitors of Fae and friends, or is he talking about like we at large, the human race, will kill God? I'm not sure.
It's a good question. Thankfully, we get some answers about that in this episode.
A little bit. So what we're doing here is we're chasing, I guess Bishop Stone has now acquired the nanomachine colony girl, the green-haired girl.
Yeah, how did they transport that? Did we ever get to see that? Did they just walk her out?
She just walked out.
Okay.
They didn't even give her any
Maybe she doesn't
fucking
have
clothes.
any agency right now. Yeah, let's clothe a naked child.
Yeah.
Well, Bishop Stone definitely, I mean, they're pedophiles, right?
Yeah,
so
that's the unfortunate part about him. So they left and they held us off with the element girls, Talone and Seraphita. We beat them and now we're chasing them up the hallways. And it's up the hallways through the
this is the first dungeon.
Ruins.
Yeah, the Zeboim. This is the first dungeon I think we've had to backtrack all the way through.
And I'm glad it's not actually timed because I kept getting backtracked on my backtrack because everything looks the same.
Yeah.
So I would turn around to like take a note or something as the battle sequence was loading up, and then I would come back into the game and be like, oh fuck, I don't know if I was going north, south, east, west, whatever.
It was that's how I drowned to death in sand in that sand ship.
I'm pretty sure at some point when I got into a fight with one of those hammerhead shark humanoid people,
the egg kicking motherfuckers.
I was about to say one of them took a shit and kicked it all at Citan.
Yeah,
and I was like, hell yeah,
good man. Yeah, just keep doing that until he's dead. But it's funny you mentioned the battles because on that way back up there, I thought those battles, the random battles, killed the tension. Because we're supposed to be chasing this guy, and oh no, Shell Bell's out, and she's put everybody to sleep again. I gotta wait until they kick shit at me to wake me up.
This may be my own perception, but it seemed like perhaps there were more encounters of the Gebler guards along the way.
Oh, I didn't fight any of them.
I know I fought a couple of groups of Gebler guards, and I wonder if that changed from one point to the next to where it creates a narrative there that they've had guys to hold you off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we eliminated the station forces on the way down there, and then they piped more in for the way back up.
During the sequence, the song Fuse is playing, and I think the whole sequence may have worked a little bit better if they would just kept playing Fuse instead of breaking the battle music.
Yeah.
That's a really good technique that a lot of RPGs, this one included, use to create additional meaning to battles in certain times.
Whenever they kind of break their own rules in the spirit of creating a theme and a kind of ambiance about the entire sequence.
Yeah. So, anything else before we get back up to the bridge?
No. The only thing I've got is that the glass hallway, it seems windier.
Yeah, when you get back up to that cool bridge that we talked about, the tension building bridge.
Yeah, where you can overlook the Zeboim ruins.
Yeah. The music stops, the wind swirls, and then Citan sees Stone and all of his cronies and the nanomachine colony girl. And like I said, it's amazing that I caught up to her because I was running around in circles for 45 minutes.
Yeah,
but
beating up monsters.
Yes, JRPG scenario, initiate now.
Oddly, they, like, beating up random monsters held you back more than Talone and Seraphita did.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Stone is immediately pissed at them. He shits on the elements for not buying him enough time.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Which is, it's kind of strange because, like, Stone can just leave. They're not blocking the exit.
Yeah. He trusts, or he's very leery of, like, Citan's foot speed and, like, Bart's long-ass feet, in my case.
Yeah.
And they're like, these dudes are going to catch me.
But it is, I think, appropriate that we have a battle or a confrontation at the most iconic area of that entire sequence.
Yeah, I love this whole area because it's got that really nice ancient city bitmap in the background that looks really good.
It's almost a matte painting.
Yeah, it's really nice looking. So then we are interrupted, right?
Off-screen text.
Off-screen text, no portrait, no subtitle, anything. It just says, give it back.
Yeah, and then Stone and all of our party members are doing their 90-degree sprite rotations to simulate being confused and
reaction
looking for
shot.
something. Yeah.
It's like the reaction shot in anime when, like, the dust is settling, like, who's still standing?
Yeah, who's still up?
But in this case, one of our friends who we, friends is not the right word, but one of our adversaries that we haven't met in a long time. In this podcast, we haven't seen this thing since episode 11, and this is what, 26?
Yeah.
So, the red gear, the demon of Elru, emerges from behind the bridge.
Yeah.
And I guess this is his song now?
Yeah, he's just hovering outside the hallway by himself. But you mean the one who was torn apart? Yeah.
It's the same song that was played when he emerged from the sand and chucked the Yggdrasil with one hand.
Yeah. That, which I still think is probably, I think you described it as awesome as fuck at that time.
Yeah.
Which is really very true.
It's really good. It's still that, I still think that tune has a tiny piece of the Zeal melody from Chrono Trigger.
It's a possibility.
It harkens to that significantly. I've probably mentioned that before, but I'll mention it again. So yeah, the red guy, he's maniacally laughing.
Yeah.
At our, I guess our puny existences. He's like, these fucking guys are not strong at all. I'm about to beat their ass. And then he laughs in all caps for a minute.
Yeah. Is that before he teleports out of the gear into the hallway?
I think so, but before he does that, I had an observation about red guy.
Did we see his portrait yet?
Yes, I think his portrait is starting to show up because he's kind of phased out of his gear and he's kind of standing up on top.
Yeah.
But he turns to the side, and the way his hairline sits here makes me think for a second that he's Dan. I mean, I know he's not Dan.
He's not Dan.
I know he's not Dan, but the hair color and the way his kind of hair recedes a little bit from the profile side when he's looking to the side, I'm like, oh, were they trying to build a narrative where like the player thought that this character was Dan the whole time?
The best, I mean, maybe that's what Dan thinks he looks like at a best case scenario, but I mean, your basis on that's only hairline, correct? And like being weird, mysterious, and popping in and out of the story.
And hair color.
Yeah,
and being somebody that was there during the original incident or something.
I mean, Dan is positioned as fiery and charismatic, but totally physically inept.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy's all of that.
I mean, we found out so much about characters who have these hidden existences, so maybe Dan is this guy.
I'm going to say if there's a betting market on that, Dan would be on the board, but it would be, 30 to 1 odds.
Yeah, 30 to 40 to 1, yeah. So Stone doesn't know who this guy is either.
No, he has no fucking idea what's happening here.
He says, the demon of Elru himself says, "To you, it is just a used-up toy. So give it back. It belongs to me." It is the nanomachine colony, right?
Right, that's what he's talking about. How do we picture this guy's voice?
I think he's got almost like if you slightly were to subdue, like multiply the Christian Bale Batman voice by a factor of like 0.25.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And that's his voice, I think.
Where were the other drugs going? I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God. Swear to me!
The one, my pull for that, do you ever see the original Stargate movie with Spader and Kurt Russell?
Yeah, not in a long time, but yeah.
Ra, the alien Egyptian god that was like a pitched down lady's voice dubbed over a male model. It was like a really weird alien language voice, and that's what I picture. Like an indeterminate gendered voice coming out of that is like, it sounded cool as fuck in Stargate, even though that movie's goofy as hell.
Yeah.
And that's what I picture him sounding like, because he doesn't speak in big sentences. He just makes declarative statements at will, basically.
At that point, you didn't have Bart with you, right?
I just want to point out this guy looks cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Like his portrait is one of the coolest designs so far.
Hairline notwithstanding.
Yeah, just long red, omega red looking dude.
So Bart is pissed off, like, just by the mere existence of this guy, because he was beaten by him. Because remember, Bart had a one-on-one battle with him in the desert way back when, and he's like, "What's your name? You can at least give me your name."
Yeah, and mine, Billy asked his name.
Oh yeah, any commentary on that? Or
nothing. Just asked his name.
I did have Billy with me, but I guess Bart overrides Billy in this case.
Yeah, in the hierarchy.
Yeah, his name is Id. He said names do not matter. However, if you insist, ... id. Hey, when you played this game for the first time when you were 16 years old, did you know what the etymology of the word id was?
I didn't. That was my sophomore year. I took psychology junior year.
Yeah, I remember when I found, we'll talk about what it is in a second, but when I found out what it was like a mind-blowing moment. But like now it's like, well, this is just
obviously
dumbass stuff that, it's dumbass psychoanalysis stuff that isn't a real thing, but like your sort of college or your high school or your college brain be like, whoa, that's a concept, man.
Yeah. Do you have what an id actually is?
Yes, I actually have the quote from Sigmund Freud.
Sigmund Freud, a psychoanalytic psychologist, developed psychological theories, some of which have proved out, many of which have not.
Yeah, I didn't go digging deep for this quote. It's just on Wikipedia, so I took it.
Yeah.
From Sigmund Freud in a book or a journal or something called The New Introductory Lectures on Psychoanalysis on page 105.
Good citation, Chris.
Thank you. Id. He defines it as, it is the dark, inaccessible part of our personality. What little we know of it, we have learned from our study of the dream work and, of course, the construction of neurotic symptoms. And most of that is a negative character and can be described as only a contrast to the ego, We approach the id with analogies. We call it chaos, a cauldron full of seething excitations. It is filled with energy reaching from beyond the instincts, but it has no organization, produces no collective will, but only a striving to bring about the satisfaction of the instinctual needs subject to the observance of the pleasure principle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The id, well, no, that's a good summary. The id, from a more overview, is grouped together. It's a psychological concept grouped together with the ego and the superego.
Yeah.
The id's a set of uncoordinated intellectual desires, which is what Chris just said. The superego plays a critical and moralizing role, and the ego is the organized, realistic agent that mediates between the instinctual desires of the id and the critical superego. So it's basically a trinity of things that make up your decision-making process, according to Freud.
Yes, according to Freud. One of the examples they said is like a newborn baby is like all id.
Yeah, our president is all id.
Yeah, that guy too. Depending on when you're listening to this.
Yeah, right.
Actually, no matter who our president is, it's all
sure.
id. It's fine.
All the time.
And there's, it's
basically when people are assholes, their id is usually dominating whatever is.
Yeah, your caveman brain, basically. It is an element of a personality, so I wonder if it is an element of a character's personality or something. I don't know yet.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it's one of our characters is Zeal, so...
Yeah, one of them just left his bed recently, so who knows?
Again. So then id decides to fight us instead of Stone?
Yeah, it's cool because it smash cuts to id's face, his zoomed-in sprite, real quick, and then all of a sudden the battle breaks, and it's still playing the one who is torn apart.
And it's good as shit.
Good as shit is a good way to do it. I expected this to be like the Wiseman tournament battle where we weren't able to hit him, but you can hit him. You can fight him.
Do you know can you lose this?
Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not either.
The narrative plays out as if you were kind of like run out of steam or whatever, but I felt like I won the battle. I did get experience points for it.
Yes, it has 3,000 hit points. He does the exact same sit combos he did on the Gears and Ramses' Nightmares.
He definitely has some sick combos that look quite familiar.
He also makes a black hole attack thing that summons stuff out of the ether to hurt us.
Yeah. Literally the ether.
Yeah, literally the ether. My strategy for this was what I like to describe as dog shit, because Billy's HP is so low, man, and his ether gun attack is really good, but it would just, like, Id was killing Billy. I was using Yggdrasil to revive Billy, and then Billy was healing everyone. And then I was trying to build up my combo meter with Citan, and I think I took Ellie down there as well. Yeah,
yeah.
And I won eventually, but he provides 30,178 experience and 5 gold.
Oh, thank you, Id. It's funny because I also wrote down Billy keeps missing his turn because he's owned and dead.
Yeah.
Because I also had Billy as well. And yeah, Billy does get fucked up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, did I not equip him properly? Or is that just like his curse is he's really good at offense and has no defense to speak of?
He has low HP, almost half as much as Citan has.
Yeah. And Citan's probably the best actual human fighter on your team.
Yeah. So we beat him.
Yeah.
And not to be outdone, another personality swoops into the fray here.
Well, the first in mind, Billy said, "You're strong, huh?" Which to me was a flashback to the desert sequence when Id said to our party, "Are you strong?"
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if strong is a word being used just lack of any other word in the localization, or if that's like a callback to tests of strength between characters.
I don't think I got anything interesting from Bart there. I think he was just kind of huffing and puffing there.
But yeah, Billy was kind of impressed. Billy's on a whirlwind tour of psychosis today.
Yeah, he's had a lot of things going on in the past.
It's not over yet.
24 hours.
It's going to keep going.
No, we're going to keep going.
But as Chris alluded to, we had another surprise cameo.
Yeah, people are just coming out of the rafters right now.
It's a gray gear with green dots and navy camo marks, gold mohawk out of nowhere.
Yeah, he sort of has like the Gundam horns almost a little bit here.
And he palms our friend Id.
Yes, he does. And Stone's like, I gotta go.
Yep. Okay, that's enough.
Taking this thing back to Krillian is specifically what he says.
Yeah, he has seen a window of escape because his main adversary is being subdued by another adversary that is also probably not friendly to him. So
yeah, and guess who it is? It's Wiseman.
Dude, I forgot that it was Wiseman.
Yeah, I was like,
who the hell is this? I didn't know Wiseman had a gear.
No, I didn't either.
Like it was kind of like almost, it was framed like a cartoon or a TV show where it was like a climactic surprise moment that I think actually worked in the moment. Because there is no way we're going to beat Demon of Elru, right?
Right.
And we don't know what Wise Man's gear is capable of. This is the first time we've seen it.
It's got to be good, though, because remember that it was able to completely own regular gears just with his own combos.
Yeah.
And he took out a whole fucking ship.
I mean, we did just beat his ass, too.
Yeah, but
he did beat a whole ship.
I'm willing to bet that Wiseman's gear is pretty strong, and
Yeah.
Wiseman himself is pretty strong.
But even Wiseman, I think, suggests that he's not here to kill this guy. He's just giving us time to escape.
Id says to Wiseman, "A little early, isn't it? I see. It was that woman. You will do fine as my toy for today."
Yeah.
And I guess he's talking about Miang, I think.
Yeah.
Because she's the only extraneous woman right now. I mean, because we're pretty much at a, we're at the everybody is here moment. Like we're, a bunch of paths are converging right now. Pretty much every major character is here in terms of our non-party member characters, except for Ramses.
Or, I mean, the woman could be, well, he wouldn't refer to the nanomachine colony as a woman. That's more of a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, if that's what they're here to get, he's just here to fuck shit up, right?
He's almost implying that, like, he thinks that Wiseman is there because of Miang's string
like
pulling.
tipped him off or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because remember a couple of, I guess it was right before the sequence, we saw, like, Miang sort of hovering in the, no, it was Grahf. He was just kind of hanging out underneath the water, and Miang radioed in.
That's
and
right.
Grahf didn't say shit. She was just there talking. So, like, I wonder if that conversation or some off-screen conversation was part of the string pulling right here.
When we're done with this game, I want to make, like, tape 4 poster boards together and cut out people's faces and draw lines, and that lines would say friend and enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Going
like,
to other characters.
Yeah, like yarn.
Yeah. Yeah, yarn for, like, blue for friends, red for enemies. And, of course, multiple will be going to the same people.
Exactly, they have to. So then it powers up with a bunch of energy and, like, swings, and then, like... I guess at that point he owns Wiseman.
Wiseman says, "Oh no."
Yeah.
And it laughs.
And when the screen fades away, I guess can we assume that Wiseman did not get killed here?
Yeah.
Because if it was a death, it would have been on screen.
Right.
So Wiseman.
Well, this game does kill a lot of people off screen.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Wiseman is not Deadman just yet.
In mine, did Billy have any commentary on? So like it cuts back to our party. Fuse plays, and did you have any dialogue about?
Yeah.
Okay. What did?
Bart's like, I can feel the ether from all the way out here, which I guess it's a weird thing to say, but I guess we do have to note that, like, our characters are intently aware of the ether system because they use that to battle, and it is a force of nature that is sort of ubiquitous in this world.
They can tap into it.
Yeah, because so many of our characters can do that, and it's not a big deal. And so at first I was like, that's a weird thing for Bart to say. What does he have, like, is he a medium or something? But no, like, a lot of people have this power.
Yeah. In mine, Billy said he can't believe Wiseman saved them in the nick of time and that Billy can sense, quote, ether power.
Oh.
I have a big question here.
Yeah?
This may be just the fault of someone has to say this shit. Billy doesn't know Wiseman.
No.
They've never met.
No, he's never met him before.
Unless, like, Citan just filled him in on, like, the run up the elevator or something.
And Ellie you have Ellie too. And
she doesn't, I don't think she knows him either, does she?
No, she wasn't at the tournament.
Yeah.
She wasn't at the battling tournament either.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just like I mean, we have to assume these characters have conversations off screen, so maybe they talked about the fucked up shit at the tournament or whatever. Does Citan know Wiseman? Like, did anyone, these people down here even know, like, who's fighting who over here?
Citan was present when in the gear tuning up scene, like right before Faye was battling Rico.
Oh, that's right.
Wiseman
when he hovered down.
That would have been Wiseman's first appearance from the rafters. This would be the second one.
Yeah.
Literally the first time, but
from
this
the
time,
rafters.
Yeah.
Not doing the Owen Hart.
Yep. Nope, not doing it.
So then we see the Ezekiel.
Yes, the fishbowl is in the sky, flying away.
Yeah, it's idling off. Implying that they've gotten away with the booty.
Our characters are standing, like, on the deck of the Yggdrasil, and Citan's like, we're too late. And Bart has...
See some questions?
He has an especially poignant moment of clarity that I would hope that someone would have had by now, but no one said it yet, so I thank you, Bart, for saying this. He says, Citan, so someone named Krellian took the kid. So what? What the heck is a nanomachine anyway? Which...
What's that word mean? It's my first time hearing it.
This is the first time playing Metal Gear.
Yeah.
And then, do you have your dialogue there?
I've quotes from Citan about nanomachines.
Yeah, I have that too. Citan says, nanomachines are robots that are smaller than human cells. They are used to cure diseases or wounds in Solaris.
In Solaris.
Yep. She may be a colony of nanomachines made by an ancient but advanced technology.
Citan speculates that Krellian is thinking about using nanomachine technology to restart the demi-human science process.
Wow. Yeah, Bart does chime in at another point during this and says, he's like, well, what the hell's wrong with that? Like, nanomachines sound fine. They're cool. Like, I don't see a problem with that.
I just want to see Citan going, have you seen Rico and Hammer? They're talking. Yeah. They are upright and talking, sir.
Citan is very worried about the line that he heard, I think, from Stone earlier, that he said, where he was talking about free humanity from its yoke.
Yeah.
And again, it's an odd thing for Citan to say, because I think that, well, maybe Citan isn't privy to the, let's call Krellian's scenario Solaris scenario 2, whereas Kane and Citan are on Solaris scenario 1.
Sure.
And so he's a little bit worried about this. And he goes on to say that perhaps some ancient information on human reconstruction is hidden inside of her body.
And I think that's a safe bet with nanomachines, right?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Was this the first time in your life you heard about nanomachines?
I don't remember this game having nanomachines in it.
Me neither.
But I would say that the first time I remember hearing about nanomachines was Metal Gear.
Yeah, Metal Gear, right. Yeah. But this beat Metal Gear by a month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, demi-humans such as Rico and Hammer were born from the results of messing around with DNA.
And we don't know if like they were directly experimented on or if it's their parents and shit that were experimented on and then they just pass it down through DNA.
Could we maybe assume that Rico was experimented upon? Because when we saw him when he was a kid, he looked kind of normal with just the ears or whatever, right?
Yeah. I don't know if that game actually reveals this or if it was ever meant to, but I would be curious to know the scientific process of that. Like, could Rico mate with a female Hans, right? Like, could
maybe. We'll never find out because Rico will never. He's just sitting in his room.
Yeah, he's never going to talk again.
His arc is complete. Yeah, so he's talking about how Citan's talking about how these experiments were done by ancient Solarians in the hopes that it would bring about the restoration of mankind, whatever the fuck that means. I guess that means the freedom from the yoke, I guess.
Right.
And apparently all this shit is what Krellian is up to. So I want to find out why or how what Krellian is up to is different than what Kane is up to. Because they appear to be opposing.
Despite being on the same team.
Yes, exactly.
Somebody's not listening to Coach.
Yep. Anything else before we get a little bit of freedom on the Yggdrasil?
No, I have Yggdrasil for our next destination.
Yes, the nurse says Faye isn't here.
Where the fuck is Faye?
No one seems to care.
So our vague direction is to go find out where Faye is.
Yeah, if you try to go, I didn't realize that either, and I went to Sigurd to launch the Yggdrasil to see what I was supposed to do.
Sigurd's like, no.
We can't find Faye. Please go find Faye.
He's been gone for a while, but now it's important that you locate him.
Everybody else is stuck in their routines, but you, Citan and friends, can go find Faye.
I just wanted to go up there and tell Bingo about what happened in Zeboim.
Yeah. No new dialogue from Choo-Choo at this point, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It still plays the... or can you even go in there? I guess you can go into Switch.
You can go in there.
Yeah.
I think she's still talking about, Stone is a baddie or whatever.
Yeah, so how long did it take you to find Faye?
Not very long, because I was going to check on the gears and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go see if I could upgrade yet. I don't think it came quite yet, but I did find Faye. He was hanging out by his gear.
This MF is just standing next to Weltall, staring at it.
He's, longingly staring at his gear to see how he feels about things.
I wish there was somebody we could ask on the Yggdrasil about if any gears have left the dock anytime last hour.
Would be nice to know that. Yeah.
Security footage, something.
They don't have security footage.
Man. I think anybody who has computers on board should be monitoring their shit with the doorbell app.
Think about how, like, when we were in Bart's lair, they didn't have any... Fucking Rink was drilling into their whole base, and they all slept through it.
They didn't know. Yeah, that's a good point.
So, So Faye's like, I have no idea how.
He doesn't know what he's doing there.
I don't know what's going on, and you know what? I don't know what's going on either, Faye.
When was the last time in your life you woke up and you didn't know where you were?
Oh God, it's probably barely over 21.
Cool. So around when you play this game.
Yeah.
That happens to me whenever I'm in a hotel. Stuff like that. But Faye apparently does this a lot, so...
Yeah, well, read into that as much as you want to read into that, readers.
Because before we can ask any more questions, not a fireplace.
Yeah, shit, the alarms are going, and, whoa, the Alkanshel has been located straight ahead.
Yeah.
Prepare the gears for launch is what we hear, I guess, over the intercom.
We also get a really interesting fact this time. The camera position, when Sigurd tells us this, it's positioned on the bridge, but it's at the ground level and pointing up, and we see the Yggdrasil has a glass ceiling.
Oh, cool.
This with the blue sky outside.
Did not realize that.
I didn't either.
You're right, it does. It pans upward and we see this hulking ass gear, the Alkanshel, which I think is the dumbest looking gear in the game so far.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
Maybe one day you can talk some shit about that gear.
Yeah.
During our Tournament of Gears Patreon episode.
.com.
Faye feels obligated to go, but Citan's like, yo, I need you to go back to the infirmary because at least within Citan's brain, he's like, well, I think I know what happened, so I need to keep this under wraps because we do not need any more additional variables to these.
He can't put this together. Citan's told the nurse to go put him on sedatives.
Yeah.
We're not going to learn. Faye's going to go to sleep again and forget all this shit ever happened.
Yeah, there's way too much going
No
on.
one will tell him they found him next to Voltal.
No. And Citan tells Billy to take over.
Yeah.
We need Billy to take over for a very specific reason because I think the natural choice should have been Bart.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking Bart's shit.
Yeah, it's attacking Bart's stuff. But but Billy knows the antagonist.
We need to complete Billy's arc. Basically.
Right, and the game needs to force our hand and put Billy in the party.
Yes.
And like Citan basically piecing out is the only way to do that, I think.
I subbed in Rico here.
Ooh, you put in Rico. I put in Ellie and Billy.
Oh, cool.
Because I wanted to use some air odds.
Of course, I kept Bart so that I could use the depth charges while I was already standing on top of the Yggdrasil.
Yeah, of course.
It didn't do much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, those like the air odds and the depth charges, like they're really cool when you get them, but their power I don't think scales with the game or something like that. Like they kind of fade.
We'll have to do some research, but I think there's certain equipable items on the characters themselves that have carryover into the gear.
Right. Yeah, that's
so
right.
I think you have to spec for them, and I mean, obviously it's not totally necessary, but it might be something fun to mess around with.
Yeah.
Then it gets quiet.
It gets quiet, and we get out for the battle, right? And then
we're in the ocean, and then we have like an over the shoulder angle from the Yggdrasil, and
what happens here? I forgot how dramatic it was.
Yeah.
My next notes are all in capital letters.
Mine too. It says, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
Stone has no face. Did they even explain this? And by the way, when I was going to have you print these notes, I didn't want to have, "Oh fuck, Stone has no face." Did they even explain this?
Yeah.
Like sitting on your work printer or whatever.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, in case I left it there.
In case you left it there. But I originally wrote, "Oh fuck, Stone has no fucking face. Did they even explain this?" But I only deleted fucking.
Yeah.
So I still have a giant fuck. And it's in like 15-point font.
Yeah, it's bold. That's funny.
So anyway.
I have in capital letters, Stone faces Red Skull, fuck me.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to describe him. He looks like Red Skull from Marvel.
Yeah. Like his skin's, I don't know if his skin's gone or if he never had, like if, there was, I mean, we talked about what was in the perfect works, but there was never any indication that this guy had skull face. Like it just hits you with that shit right in the stomach.
All of the, like the plastic surgery lore, they cut that.
Yeah.
And they didn't explain
that wasn't
any of
here.
it.
This game talks a lot, but never felt the need to mention that really.
No. Stone says, "Those who become enemies of the sacred Gazel, I will eliminate them all. Repent now." So
yeah,
like, Stone,
that's some cult leader shit.
Yeah, you're a fanatic, Stone.
Yeah,
fuck off, dude.
You've crossed over. I mean, you've clearly dispensed the need for any kind of human artifice. So,
and as if we did not need any more additional chaos in this scenario,
off-screen words, just
more off-screen words. Essentially, another character coming from the rafters, a yellow flash on the screen. Do you want the power? At that point, it's like, yeah, everybody's here.
Yeah, once again, Grahf decides that no one man should have all this power.
Exactly. He's doing his sick entry pose.
Yeah. He descends.
He gives his entire intro. He's got his music with him.
Yep.
Grahf, Emperor of Darkness. And Stone's like, no.
Yeah, Stone deflects this, which is weird. Vandercom was like, yeah, give me that shit. Give me that shit.
Has he given anybody else the power at this point?
I don't think so. Just Vandercom as far as we know.
Yeah. He's offered Faye the power.
Yeah, but Faye didn't take it as well. But yeah, Stone deflects it and says, Corellian gave him this body and it has power. And it's like, my dude, why not get more?
Yeah, Grahf has like a PowerPoint presentation on why that's a bad statement. Like he's got a rebuttal prepared, and he says, "All this power is fake. Do you think you can win with it? A fake body, a fake awakening. It is all useless."
What is a fake awakening?
I think it's like when you... I haven't thought about this yet, but I think it's about when you go on... Let's say you attend a Catholic school.
Yeah, did that. Thanks.
Yeah, me too. Let's say your junior year of high school, they make you go on a religious retreat.
Yeah, I opted out of that shit.
You really?
Yep, I didn't go to any of that.
Oh, wow.
Seemed too weird.
Well, I've got news for you.
Yeah, did you go to one of those?
Yeah.
Cool. What? Unpack that.
When I went, the junior year one was mandatory.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we're only a year apart. Anyway.
Yeah.
You got a note from your mom, basically, I guess.
Kind of. I bet I tried to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't like doing that stuff.
I didn't either. Anyway, so you go to that thing, and they make you feel very spiritual and religious throughout that thing.
Indoctrination, sure.
Yeah, and if you kind of buy in to it, which you could do if you're 16 years
old. It's a form of group therapy.
Yeah. And when you leave that and you go back to the real world, you feel like you have this like newfound energy, this newfound power to take on life. Mm-hmm. Even though you're 16, you have no fucking clue how to take on life. And you feel awakened. That is a fake awakening.
Shit, Chris.
Just now thought of that.
That's perfect. Way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris didn't write any of that down. I just kind of pulled that out of him. That was
a false religious experience, I guess.
I mean, yeah, you can go to any kind of thing and get hyped up by something and then try to apply that to the real world. Yeah. And then either it doesn't work or you forget about it and slowly regress into your old habits.
Essentially, a fake awakening is like a realization that you come to without the help of a licensed professional.
Yeah.
Like if you've received therapy from somebody who's not a therapist and then you feel better about things, then no, you need to go see a real therapist.
Yeah, or, I mean, you can get that from eating 3 chili dogs, too.
That, too, yeah. Well, okay.
Pay for it later.
Speaking of... He will give you the power.
Yeah.
His fist is a divine breath, etc., etc.
There's a really cool... When he does this, eventually, Stone accepts the power, right? Somehow. Grahf just gives it to him.
Grant unto thee the power of the glorious Mother of Destruction.
Mother God.
Yes, exactly. Then he beefs it up.
There's a really cool multi-cut shot where Grahf raises his fist and poses, and his hand turns red with glowing shit, and it like frames Grahf on one side and Stone's gear on the other side, and it's only like a half-second cut shot, but it's someone spent a lot of time. As someone who cuts a lot of things together in succession for this podcast, I imagine the temptation is there to just keep the camera still the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's more work to actually rotate around and do something cool like this.
Well, we did talk about a little bit on our Time of the Bonus episode 2 for Patreon subscribers.
Came out November 24th, 2019.
Yeah, this podcast probably won't be until like March. Anyway, well, subscribe now. You can go back and get all that shit.
Yep.
Anyway, we talked about how part of the way this game came together was that they had to make a concession. Like they were not able to use 3D characters on 3D backgrounds because of the limitations of what they had to work with at the time. But it was a very deliberate choice. They wanted to use 3D backgrounds because they wanted to do this camera work shit. Mm-hmm. And this is another great example of that.
Plus the gears are polygonal, so they did have some budget to do some... I mean, but the gears don't have to emote, right?
Right, exactly. So, can we speculate for a moment?
Yeah.
Okay, why is Grahf interested in beefing up Stone right now? Because to this point, most of Graf's appearances have been explicitly framed around the concept of like, testing Faye's power.
Yeah.
Faye is not here.
Good point.
So
maybe
what's the motive? Is he just an agent of chaos?
So here's my first question: theory is Grahf was trying to draw it out and doesn't know that it already happened below.
Maybe.
And his timeline's messed up, and he's just trying to get him out this way.
He was weirdly silent when he was underwater.
Yeah. But
I just like, why does he care who wins at this point?
I don't know. Maybe it's Graf's way of... Maybe the power is actually destructive and they'll end up getting overconfident and killing themselves, and it's Graf's way of eliminating people by maybe if you charge something with too much juice, you can blow it up. Is
he trying to maybe awaken id by just the mere concept of a large-scale battle where lots of things are getting blown up?
Yeah, that's a possibility. Maybe. I mean, there's no real precedent for that either, but... I didn't actually think about that because my immediate response was, he wants to test Faye. Faye's not fucking here.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird. He wants to test Billy? What do you need with Billy? Maybe Billy's the main character. Who knows?
It's a possibility. No, it's not a possibility.
No, it's not. Battle begins, and we have this behind-the-back perspective of the gears facing the Alkanshel.
It has 13,000 hit points.
One interesting thing is that earlier, sort of when the scene was ramping up, the Night of Fire music started playing, as you pointed out earlier, but... Once Grahf came in, his music took over.
Yeah.
And during this portion of the battle, Graf's music is still playing.
Yeah.
Which is
really good shit.
It's really good shit.
It's good shit.
I love it. All damage is nullified due to the power.
Yeah, we cannot damage this guy.
Nothing can happen, and the battle just ends after, I guess, X amount of turns.
Yeah, I think it's 3 or 4 turns.
Yeah,
battle stops, and Bart says all this shit is no good.
Our speedrunning friends should let us know how quickly you can get through this battle.
Right? Just hit charge every time. No attack animations. So Citan's got some real weird dialogue here.
Yes.
Some weird metaphysical stuff that is definitely something you say after you smoke a bowl.
Or 2.
Or 5.
Yeah, Citan radios in, I guess. And,
radio's in, right?
Yeah.
And that's a good point.
He says,
this is fucked
hold
up.
on, I need a drink. I need a drink for, like...
Lubricate the vocal cords.
No, because I'm about to read this shit.
Lubricate the brain. Sully up the mind. Dirty your soul. Wipe your mouth. Cough.
Shit.
Laugh.
Stop it. Some kind of... Citan says, some kind of negative energy feeling, hatred, somehow is changed into an ether, forming a barrier. If we can somehow change our strong force of will into ether and also throw it back at it, ... trailing off. This is like complete nonsense.
I imagine Citan's voice. You know when someone just is like talking with smoke or vape juice in their mouth and it's like kind of echoey?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. And you can hear the bong noise in the background with Sigurd coughing.
He reminds me of like a kid, like who is like not a super young kid, but like a 12-year-old kid who's like just been exposed to Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And he's like, if only I could get this Kamehameha off right now.
He's trying to have an awakening.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Citan wants to have a Kamehameha battle. And he's creating whatever lore he needs to in order to facilitate that.
So that's insane, but I did pull a weird reference out of that. What I got from that sequence of Citan was, quote, the will to power. Yeah. Which is in a Saga's subtitle.
Yes.
In German. Yeah. I'm sure we'll get the fake net to help us on that.
Yes, thank you, fake net, for speaking multiple languages.
Initializing fake net.
That subtitle is pronounced Der Wille zur Macht.
Yeah. So you have to assume that's a theme that Takahashi runs with.
Yes. Stone kind of like...
Is there some plot?
He ignores some stuff a little bit, and he's just like, I want to talk to Billy right now. Mm-hmm. And he says, "Ha, son of Josiah, you are suffering." Then Stone also talks about his weird friendship with Jessie and how they were rivals in effort, and like they were both trying to become the commander of Gebler.
Yeah, it's Stone's turn to explain his villainy.
Yes, this made me want the Jessie manga.
Back that up.
Actually might happen. How are you familiar with the Xenogears manga?
There's just been a lot of stuff brought to my attention recently that we should talk about.
We'll talk about it in the future, but there was a Twitter user, I think the person's name was Feezy Fees or something like that, which put together a group that did a translation of the Xenogears manga. I read one chapter. It was really fucking good.
Cool.
Just different small stories. Like the story that I read about was about Sigurd's departure from Solaris and his friendship with Ramses, and it was interesting.
Is this fanfic or is it based on...
No, it's real. Like Story of Saga wrote a couple of them. Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
Yeah. So there might literally be a Jessie manga. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that later. But that stuff's not really considered canon, so we won't extrapolate any further. But Stone is talking to Jessie, who isn't here. He says, Josiah, like a beast, you stole the Raquel that I loved and threw away command of Gebler that I wanted so much, then disappeared from Solaris. So
yeah, he says Jessie stole Raquel and stopped giving a fuck.
Yeah, and so Stone is not only a fanatic, but he's also an incel, jealous motherfucker.
Yeah, he's it's kind of a weak plot element to blame everything on a woman.
Yeah, it's like fucking Professor Snape.
Yeah, I don't know that I've not seen the Harold Potter, but I know who Snape is.
Yeah, well, Snape has this really...
Isn't that Rickman?
Yes, he has this really interesting backstory, really interesting character, and it's like all because of a girl.
To further hit that point home, Stone says that Raquel had been dirtied by Jessie, and that Billy and Premiere were remainders of that taint. Killing Raquel was the only way to save her.
Yeah. Through Krellian's wisdom, he saved Raquel from misery by killing her with zombies.
Yeah, he reveals that the Reapers were people all chosen by the Ethos and converted by Krellian. He then laughs his ass off and tells Billy to confess his sins.
This is fucking... Like, I mean, occasionally...
It's kind of stupid.
Huh?
It's kind of stupid.
It is. It is really stupid, but I love it in a... Not necessarily in an ironic way, but just in like a silly way that this game kind of like... It's constrained by like the bounds of its ambition.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff maybe could have been more well developed. And Xenogears 6-part series.
Mm-hmm.
The same way they're going to do it with like the Final Fantasy VII remake, where like they're going to like build out the
60 hours in Midgar.
Yeah, it's like this game. I don't know if Final Fantasy.
That game might be out by the time this podcast is out.
Yeah, and so at the time we're recording this, we don't know if they are successful in doing that. But if they were to do it to this game, they could do it because there's a lot here.
Yeah,
there's a lot of meat. I haven't read the Final Fantasy VII Perfect Works, so I don't know.
I do think a lot about how the Xeno name still bleeds on through Xenosaga.
Yeah, through time.
Blade. So the next thing, do you have anything else for the actual fight before the thing happens?
No, I have another comment about how dumbass the Alkanshel looks, but I think we already talked about
already
that.
established that it looks stupid.
Yeah.
So in the Transformers film, which we're all familiar with, I hope, when Hot Rod finally unlocks the power of the Matrix, you get like an off-screen Optimus Prime voice that comes out of nowhere and is like is awesome as shit.
Yeah, now Light of Darkest Hour.
Yeah, right.
Arise, Rodimus Prime.
Yes.
There's an off-screen comment here that I think carries that same emotional weight, and that it's like overly sentimental, but also really cool. Off-screen, you see, no, there's nothing for you to regret, Billy. And then someone calls Stone a narcissistic, self-preserving fool.
Yeah.
Jessie enters the ring.
It's awesome. I didn't write the quote down because I just wrote Jesse's on this shit.
Yeah.
And
there's a weird buzzing sound. Citan calls it, Jesse's in the bunt line, an ether gun gear where the pilot rides in the bullet.
It's fucking terrible design.
Yeah, it's like, who made this? You guys made Suicide Gear.
Just don't make that. You don't need to make that. Like, I mean...
It kills your pilot 100% of the time. Why does Jesse still have this?
You don't need to do that.
Like, was he using it as like a car for a while? And it's like, now it's important for me to...
I mean... if they could have just explained that away by saying that it was experimental.
Well, did you see what Citan said about it?
No.
If we use that, we can break Stone's negative hate barrier.
What is going on in this chapter? I don't get it.
Like, my next comment is just, what?
Don't forget that this chapter is called Deep Sea Girl.
Yeah, we're still on that.
Which I think that maybe the Deep Sea Girl sequence is over.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a hidden chapter name here, but there's no save points for us to know about it. Who knows?
So, what is cool, Chris, is one robot, and another robot is cool. What's cooler than two robots?
Well, when two robots transform and combine into one.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, or one turns into a gun. And we know that things are on now, because we know now that we can beat the Alkanshel because Night of Fire begins to play.
Right. And it's revealed that Jesse's gear is significantly smaller.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking roller or something coming out of Optimus Prime's truck.
Yeah.
All tiny. It looks like a fucking GoBot.
Yeah, it does. It does, because it's like one straight color.
Yeah.
Like they didn't bother to color the thing. So next comes a big inspirational speech from Jesse telling Billy his faith was not misplaced. We've got some quotes. Chris is beating his head.
Do you want me to read it?
There's two big quotes here. You do the first one.
That fabricated faith was just a worldly system for compensating those people with fragile souls. But faith and God aren't things which are given to you from others, right? They are things that you have to discover within yourself and by yourself. Things that cannot be put into words. Things that cannot be expressed. Isn't that what God is all about? Question not thy God, for thy God doth not respond.
Okay, so that's fairly standard measures of faith.
I wrote that down as that line is both very college party and both very Gnostic.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm.
Then...
his Second Amendment appears.
Yeah. A wild Second Amendment appears.
The reason I taught you how to use a gun as a child was to save people. You say that guns are just tools for killing people, but you were wrong. Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Eric, I have a question.
What's up, Chris?
Now, we like Jesse.
Mm-hmm. We like Jesse. He's saved the day. He has a heart.
Did Jesse just milkshake duck?
Yeah.
Right here.
A little bit. Before the term was invented.
Yeah.
I feel like I heard this phrasing a lot in the 90s. Like right after Charlton Heston took over the NRA.
Yeah, and remember there was the Billy Madison, it was Happy Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
The guy had on a shirt that said, guns don't kill people, I kill people.
Yeah.
And I think that there was a lot of humor based around that.
That was also in UHF.
Really?
A guy in a commercial said, guns don't kill people, I do.
Oh, wow. Did not know that. UHF was in the 80s, right?
88.
Yeah.
Gun control is for wimps and commies. Listen, let's get one thing straight. Guns don't kill people. I do.
That's not all he has to say. Do you have any more?
Not any direct quotes, but
Well, he says killing Reapers is doing them a favor and extinguishing the pain in their hearts.
Yeah.
And then he says, quote, there is only one way to be saved from the pain. That is by termination.
and he's a Terminator.
And he says the Reapers always have peaceful looks on their faces when Billy blasts them. And then he says, God exists within you.
Okay, so Jesse, the proponent of the Second Amendment,
Yep.
Gnostic, and also smokes a little weed.
Yeah.
And has a surgically repaired face, or altered face.
Jesse is your uncle who got fucked up in the machinery at the plant.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving.
His Thanksgiving's in 3 days.
Yeah, we're recording this in November, but yeah. If you happen to hack our Dropbox before then happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, or if Chris publishes an episode
on accident.
early.
Yeah. Occasionally that happens. Sorry. The reason I did that was because I put the wrong year. I put the release date as January of 2019, so it's like, oh, fuck. Well, that's what happened, so...
Good job.
Anyway, thank you.
So anyway, we don't actually fight anymore. It's like a cutscene that dispatches Stone because Billy fires the Jessie Canon.
Yeah, it's like a Megatron transformation, and Citan fucking shoots it, and Citan is like, well, I guess Jesse's dead because Jesse was the bullet.
Citan tells Billy he just killed his father.
And yeah, the whole time I think the whole time Citan was trying to radio in to be like, Billy, don't fucking do this.
Like he couldn't. He says like, Billy, no, don't do that.
You're gonna kill your dad, Billy.
So the implication is that Jesse didn't tell Billy that the gun his gear transformed into shot his pilot as a bullet.
Yeah, his dad, no less. Yeah.
So
we have a quick battle.
Yeah.
And I have no notes about the battle other than the fact that I turned the boosters on.
He has a unique attack called Mass Limit that slices your HP in half.
Yeah, that's the main mechanic here. Well, I turned the boosters on. One of my characters almost ran out of fuel because I had to do some healing.
Yeah.
But
to charge your... Do you have the 50 charge or the 30?
I think I have both.
I think 50 might consume too much fuel. I think 30 is a sweet spot.
I don't have one on Bart right now because I have the Death Blower 1 on him.
Yeah, extra death blows.
Yeah.
So the end of this battle, which is not all that difficult if you manage your fuel properly or don't get lucky, but it does a classic villainous trope thing that a lot of enemies in Control, the game I just finished, did, where shit blows up and takes 600 HP out of everyone.
Yeah.
So if you're running low on health right now, you can lose the battle for no reason at the very end of it. But if you survive, you get 44,183 XP and 30,000 G in an E-circuit.
Oh, thank you. So when the battle concludes, we're back on the deck of the Yggdrasil.
Yeah, the outside part.
Billy shoots his gun 3 times to say,
yeah,
he's pouring 3 out for Jesse.
It's the best way to see his father off.
Yeah.
Citan says they should not have made that thing, which...
Initializing fake net.
Citan actually says, I should not have made such a thing. Solaris didn't make it, Citan did. This implies a new level of sinister mad scientist responsibility.
That could go for a lot of Solarian technology.
A lot of things should not have been made in this world.
Yeah.
Perhaps all the humans as well.
Yeah.
If you've played this game before, you might know why. Yeah, it didn't Jesse's like, hey, man.
Yeah, he
what's up?
shows up.
Hey, how you doing?
It's like in Indiana Jones when the tank goes off and Indiana Jones joins them and looking at the tank while they think he was in it.
He also says, ouchie, wow, wow.
Yeah, ouchie, wow, wow.
Ouchie, wow, wow.
He never wants to do that again.
Yeah, which is a great term, I guess. My biggest regret on this podcast is that we did not really talk about when Bart said sorry, Dari.
Yeah.
But at least we caught ouchie, wow, wow.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
That's good. So it's like the game isn't satisfied with that being our only big reveal here.
He's Jesse's like, yo, I improved the shit so the gun doesn't kill the pilot. So yeah, that's perhaps a very nice feature to implement.
Yeah,
because,
it's
nice that I decided
over the course of 15 years, he decided maybe I shouldn't kill myself in this thing for one climactic moment.
I guess he's just had this thing floating. I mean, because Jesse's kind of a nomad. Like I guess he has a hidden base of operations.
No, yeah, he definitely has a bunker with like a dirt colored net over it that he can just summon and dig that thing out of.
Yeah. Citan calls Jesse irreligious and wonders why he was talking about hell. Because at some point he was like, I'm going to send Stone to hell or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's still, I don't believe in hell, but I'll still send somebody to it.
Jesse's like, no.
Yeah.
It was a curse, a fitting end for him, which that's a good line.
Yeah, sure. Stone's dead, right? Like he's done.
He's fucking he's over with.
He's exited. The power did not do him any good.
Hey, guess what? Who else is here?
Yeah, somebody walks up.
It's Primera, Jesse's daughter. She says, Papa. And hey, guess what? It plays a song.
The Valley Where the Wind is Born.
The Valley Where the Wind is Born.
Enjoy the live version.
We forgot to talk about this song when it was... This is, I think, this is only the second time the song is played in this game.
Yeah, as far as I know.
I have a revelation about this song, I think.
Yeah?
A personal revelation. Perhaps I looked within myself because God could not give me this answer.
You had an awakening?
I had an awakening about this song. So this song was first played when we got to Citan's house at the very beginning of the game, the house on the hill. It is played now.
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
This is not Citan's theme. This is the theme of the Children of the Elements, Primera and Midori.
Damn. That's a good pull. Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah, because,
could be.
Yeah, because
we don't know shit about Midori. That's Citan's daughter, but we know she has a portrait, and we know a little bit. Like, she just has a look about her. Primera too, of like
sadness,
wisdom, and if you're a Patreon subscriber, maybe you know about perhaps the inspiration of these characters from episode 2, Time of the Bonus, about the childhoods and evolved children thing.
Angle.
But I think that's something that we should keep an eye on for this track, maybe going forward.
So she actually talks.
Yeah.
She says Papa.
Finally. And she doesn't not talk because of a disability. She doesn't talk because of a traumatic incident, right?
Yeah. She also doesn't acknowledge Billy still, which I don't know what the point of that really is.
Maybe
yet.
I think Billy's arc is effectively over right now at this point in the game. Like, do we have much more to happen with Billy throughout the rest of Xenogears?
I don't think so.
Recollection?
I think he gets Rico'd.
Yeah. And he's had a sort of a come to reality moment to where he now understands his place in the world and understands the place in the world previously to this was, misconstrued or not what he thought it was.
Shattered faith.
Yeah, his faith was shattered. Thank you. That's a better way of saying that. But maybe like Primera hasn't warmed up to the fact that like Billy is a good guy now, maybe, perhaps because of her possible telepathy.
Yeah. Or maybe she knew that Billy was executing people for the last 10 years.
That too. On the bridge of the Yggdrasil, Citan implores Jessie to tell Billy what he's been up to.
Yeah, come clean.
Yeah. And they speak about how Billy is a little bit upset that Prim doesn't talk to him still. So even though he's the one who actually takes care of her.
Citan tells Billy that his daughter doesn't acknowledge him either.
Yeah, my daughter, she didn't fucking talk to me.
Everybody had that problem.
So who knows?
Chris has kids. Would that be weird if they just stop talking to you?
Yes, they talk to me all the fucking time. So that's a red flag, Citan.
So I think, like, doesn't Jesse agree to start talking, but first he needs to get liquored up?
They got to go to the gun room.
That's right.
Old Nathan's got a good bar.
Yeah. That they're draining.
The quality of his character is equivalent to the character of his booze.
Okay. So Jesse says he found out about the Malak plan in Solaris, done under the command of Krellian.
The M plan. And this is the second time we've heard about the M plan because the
ministry.
Gazelle ministry mentioned it at one point.
So the M plan basically is lambs were kidnapped to become wells. The lead scientist moved Truefax to test the gear, then let the test gear escape with his daughter so that the truth would not be discovered. Jesse has been looking for that gear and the girl ever since and found out they may be in Shavat.
Yes. At that point, and this is all new, there's no way to extrapolate this from anything that we've seen to this point, I don't think.
I just want to go back. When I said the lead scientist moved Truefax into test gear, I don't know where I got Truefax. I think that's an autocorrect on the Google Doc part. I don't know what the hell that word's supposed to be. Truefax? Just information.
Truefax. Info.
The lead scientist hid information into a gear. Somebody left with the gear.
Good luck with that one. Someone walks in and is like, hey, are you talking about Maria?
Yeah.
Because I'm the Shavat prisoner and I'm an effective plot device to help you get to where you need to go next.
It's me.
It's me.
So, yeah, they wandered out of the doctor's office.
Yeah. And Faye's there too, by the way.
Yeah.
Faye brought her.
Yeah.
Hey, Faye.
Look what I found.
Good to see you again.
It's for the plot.
While they sort of plan things out, Faye's like, he seems like he knows what's going on. Like, Faye's up to speed now, I think.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're back to the bullhorn grabbing Faye. He's like, hey, let's go through with this and go find Shavat because I kind of need to get to Shavat because Faye knows that his father is from Shavat.
Yeah, he wants to go there.
Faye he's been out of commission for a long time and he is ready to continue his journey of self-discovery. Because remember way back when Faye agreed to help Bart with the whole like take the throne back thing.
Yeah, brothers
he's
forever.
Yeah, he's like, well, you know what? I'm also going to discover about myself along the way. And, you know, like the whole like...
He means literally.
The whole like Ave Bloodovik? Yeah, Bloodovik recapture thing is like, we forgot about that. Like, yeah, that's still on hold, by the way.
Yeah,
like, Citan's still in control of that city.
We're going to go back.
Yeah, at some point, maybe, I hope.
So perhaps. They're having this all hands, right? Making big decisions about the future of their group. Rico's in the basement.
Of course, Rico Hammer in the basement.
He's not hanging out.
Yeah.
He's not any input here.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They couldn't put a sprite up here because no one gives a shit. Jesse also says that Maria's father's name was Nikolai.
Yeah.
And the Shavat agent tells us, they're like, well, when they're like, we need to go to Shavat, the Shavat agent says, well, Shavat used to be situated on top of Babel Tower. It says there still may be a communication facility connected to Shavat at the very top of it.
Yes. The Shavat agent gives us a reason to climb a tower and do a thing.
And Citan says, well, the Ethos may have destroyed that.
Well, so I guess we got to go to the Babel Tower?
Yeah, Faye wants to go to Shavat, yeah. Faye's back. Also, Faye's level is with everybody else's, so he must have leveled up in his sleep.
Thanks, game.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for keeping that consistent and even.
There's one other scene to play out, but...
We're going to save it for next time.
Yeah, I'll save it for next time because podcast has been long and informative, we hope.
My final note here is, Billy's done, so it's time we go get another character now.
Hey, I took Billy to Babel Tower.
Yeah, I did too. We'll talk about that.
Anyway, that's it for today's episode of Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast about Xenogears. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Chris.
Subscribe to our podcast anywhere where podcasts are found. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/retroam. Follow us on Twitter at retroamnesiapod. You know, we can never change the handle for that, by the way, because we've said it too many times. We are not on Facebook, by the way. We haven't mentioned that in a while, so I want to let you guys know that we're not on Facebook. Sorry. Email us at retrogradeamnesiapodcast@gmail.com. Stay tuned for the outtakes, by the way. And until next time.
Thank you, Mark Shepard.
Thank you, Mark
Shepard.
You should write that down. And until next time.
Yes, we will kill God.
And now you may go back to sleep.
How do you picture Id's voice? Oh, did he introduce himself yet? My bad. No, I've got I've been trying to think of some revolting things to put on the next cookie cake. I was thinking about hair inside, written in icing.
Just written?
Yeah.
Hair
inside. Yeah.
Oh, hair inside.
Hair inside. Or just hair would be really good too.
Hair on a cake. There's hair on your cake.
Somebody walks up.
Yeah.
It's Midori.
It's not Midori. It's Primera.
Shit.
But it is an effective mouse jiggler. Just say Xenogears study guide. That's all you have to say. You don't say it on blogspot.
From the Xenogears.
LLC.
Is this a sex thing? What's this?
You put that between, like, it sort of cradles your spine, and you lay on top of it.